Hello everyone, this is Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to roll out another session of the strategy that I've been calling the Squeeze 4. And the Squeeze 4 is a strategy that I developed based upon the first video, which I will put a link to right up in this corner, right there somewhere. And you need to go watch that to figure out the philosophy. But it's very simple. I'm going to get right into the roll now. We're starting out with a $1,000 bankroll, which I have on the table with 4 greens, 4 blacks, 500 in greens, 90 in red, and 10 in white. And I already have the table set up with a $200 leg, a $40 hard 4 and on, a $5 yo 11, and there is my $50 don't. How I've been modifying this is to make better money to get paid off on the don't side is I've actually, once I get a couple wins under my belt, and typically somewhere between $100 and $200 in profit, I'll take this up to 75 and play it the same way, not worrying about the loss on the 4. What has happened here is that I've been having the same luck as a couple of my subscribers have had, and they are hitting the easy 4 quite often and losing, and that's been happening to me. So I've been trying to make some tweaks for it, but I'm going to go ahead and roll through this again. And one of my subscribers basically said that he went out and played it, I guess it's almost been 10 days ago, and said that he kept getting hit on the easy 4. Lo and behold, the same thing happened to me. I'm going to roll it out with a few tweaks here. We'll see what happens. All right, so it's all going to be random rollers. Don't pay attention to the names on the screen. Dice are out. All right, so we have a 415. First point's going to be a 415. And the way that I've tweaked some of this is when I play the field and don't play the field, and I have found out that in order for me to get to where I need to go, I do need to play the field on the 5 and the 9 for the most part. I don't play it when I hit the 10, and hopefully we never establish a point of 4, although that will happen. If you don't think you're not going to hit a 4 playing this, I'm going to tell you right now that you are. Hopefully you're hedging against the hard 4 for $40 against a $200 lay. But in any event, let's go ahead and get on with this. How I do this is 60 and 60. Which is 120 so far. Oh, $5 yo would come down. It's 120 so far. We have 50 here and 50 on the lay. I mean 100 on the lay. So that's going to give us 150 in mechanisms in order to be able to cover ourselves. I do come out with a quarter come bet for the first couple progressions. You can count that to the positive side, not the negative side, however you want to count that. And then somewhere, depending on my level of place box hits, table minimums, I'm going to come up also for a quarter field, and I'm only going to do that field as long as I'm running the come. Typically the come establishes my 3 points that I won't come out in the field anymore. I hope that makes sense. So what we have exposed now is 120, 145 against 50 and 100, which is 150, and then the 25. You do have to, and I know one of my subscribers said, you have to count the $40 on the hard 4 because eventually when the PSO or the 7 out comes, you're going to lose that. But it is there, and the whole philosophy behind this Squeeze 4 is that we want to get our base set up. We're going to squeeze the 4 out and continue to play. All right, enter the point of 5 in the roll tracker, and we will be on our way. All right, dice are out. There's a 3-2-5, so right off the bat we get hit. Not specifically worried about that at this particular moment. Going to lose on the field. The 5 is going to travel. That'll come off. We'll lose the 50, and we'll just repeat the whole process again with that. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that was pretty bad that you get hit right off the bat because we lost the 50 on the don't, and now we have $10 more invested on the come out 11 to protect that. It's all part of the game. You have to take the ups and the downs. Hopefully in the long run, the 3 chances of hitting the 4, you're hedging against 1, so the 2 chances had a 36 to hit the easy 4 can happen, but it's very limited. But the whole idea is to only have that hedge up till you get your base started. And you can take your base, if you hit those 6 and 8s early, you can take your base whether you're going to play 52 or 54 across, or if you're going to go to the 66 to 81 level. So let's go. Dice are out. All right, this time the point's going to be a 9. The point's going to be a 9. I do something just a little bit different when it's a 9. Okay, so we're going to lose the 5 on the yo. We've already got 1 come established, so we have our 5 established. If we didn't have the 5 established with a bet, I would be hopping the 5s for 10 each. So there is a quarter in the come. The only other point I need to get placed would be the 10. So instead of wasting the money on the field, you're just going to go ahead and place the 10 for the table minimum. Hope that makes sense. So we're out of the field now. If we weren't on the 5, we would be in the field with a 5 hop as well. So the point is 9. All right. Dice are out. And there's a real quick 0.7 out, which is also going to hurt us as well for those early 0.7 outs with the amount of chips that we have in play. But you're going to see what's going to happen. This whole philosophy is that you get your base started and you're looking for the long roll. In this case, we're not looking for the long roll. So let's take everything down that loses. Okay. This all loses. This is going to lose. I'm going to pay that there. I'm going to pay my 50 there. And then we're going to lose the money on the hard 4 will come down. And then we are going to win $100. Oops, leg button jumped. We're going to win $100 on the leg. And then I also 5 for the VIG. Typically on the East Coast here, they take the VIG up front. In this example, I'm taking it backwards. So if you take a look at really where we stand with chips, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 890. So we did go backwards on that. So we'll just come back over here with 50 on the don't. We're going to place 40 on the hard 4, and the on button is on because we want it working on the come out. And I was going to go 3 shooters, but I've learned not to say 3 shooters because this is exactly what can take place with this type of roll. All right, so we're on the shooter 2. The first shooter established a point of 5 and hit a 5, came out with a 9, and then a real quick 0.7 out. So, you know, it is what it is. That's 4 rolls, and we lost money. We lost $50 on the don't, and then we had 120 in the place box. That's just what happens. All right, so dice are out. All right, there's a quick, not quick, there's a 617 out, which doesn't hurt us, and I'm going to show you why. And I realize that I did forget to edge against my Yo 11. Here's what happens. We get paid $100 on the lay 4. We get minus 50 is going to give us 50. Minus 40 is going to leave us with 10. We got the $5 on the Yo and $5 on the VIG. It's a wash. You didn't lose anything. Hope that made sense. Okay, and yes, we do stay up on that. All right, dice are out. Yeah, there's a nice number to get. A little bit of retribution there, payback, whatever you want to call it. It's an AC-doocy on the come out. That's going to win us 50. Kind of helps where that point of 5 we hit, but we still have the 120 we lost up on the second, the point being established on the first roller. I got to come back out to put that Yo back up. And just so you know, when you roll a come out 7, you break even. If you roll a come out 11, you actually win a quarter. All right, still trying to establish a point on the second shooter. Dice are out. There's a 4-2-6. Okay, so the point's going to be a 6. This is going to change up how we do play this. I know one of the comments from one of my subscribers says it's a very complex system to be able to play it. Once you get used to what numbers you're playing, your sister numbers 6 and 8, 5 and 9 sister numbers. We look at the 4 and the 10 as good numbers, except we're laying the 4. And this could be called the squeeze 10. I just squeeze the 4. That's just the way I call that. So on the place box that hits for this, we're going to come out with 60. Get some change. We're going to come out with 60 on the 8. Okay. We're going to put a quarter in the come, a quarter in the field, and we're going to hop the 5s for up to 3 rolls for $10 each. If this quarter come gets placed to the fives, we're done hopping the fives. So we have, on the positive side, 50 and 25 and 75. We have 175 to win on this next roll, and we are actually losing 60, 70, $95. So you can see how that works. Plus you'd have the 40 over there on the hard 4 if this next roll is a 0.7 out after establishing the point. Eventually, you know, that's going to happen, or the 7 out's going to come. So it is what it is. Dice are out. And there's a hard 4. Okay. That's one of the 4s that you're actually cringing over when you hear the dealer go 4, hard 4, then you're happy with that. So the hard 4 is going to pay us. We're going to lose the leg. So that leg would come down for the 200, and we're going to get paid 7 times the 40, which is $210. 70, 70, oh, 40. 70 and 70 is 140. It's 280. Sorry, guys. I thought I had laid it right. I had worked with this hard 4 from 25 to 40. So 4 times that's 228. So it's 280. So we actually are going to come out ahead on this as well. And what we're going to do with the 280 is we are going to come right back up on that lay 4. We'll rack the 75, put the lay 4 back up. We would owe 5 on the vig. We're going to wind up taking that down. I do owe 10 for the hop 5, so I'll take the hop 5s out of that. So as you can see, we actually did come ahead a little bit. The problem that happened with this is that this is going to travel to the 4. So what we have to do now is switch the lay to the 10, and we just shift this up to the 10 as well. That's how that's done. On the 4, we're going to get paid a quarter. On the 4, that would be actually this will be I'll take this quarter, put it up in the come. That will be the 3rd come progression that we're going to run in this process. I'll stay out one more time there. I should have enough with what I won on the hard 4, hitting the hard 4, as well as whatever place box hit that comes to establish my base. Hopefully that makes sense. Sometimes I get confused even talking to myself. Dice are out. All right, there's a 639. We don't have anything on the 9, but what that does is it gives us the ability to place the 9. We're going to win a quarter on the 9. And if you take, we'll take this 5 away. If you take the fact that we won on the hard 4, we won $40, and we've won 50 on the field bets. That's 90. We take that out. That's enough to begin our base. This actually travels to there. So now we're done. We're going to squeeze the 4. In this case, it's the 10 back out. So all that will come down. I would get my vig back. I never paid the vig. Now we're going to take this $50 and we're going to establish our base. And let me get some reds for that. All right, so, and our base is now set. The fact that we can take this $60 on the 8 down, and we have to decide what our base is going to be. We've yet to hit a box number yet, so I'm going to go to the 25 or the green level chips and place them. 25, that would be 30 here, and over here on the 10, I'm going to make it 15. I will rack the rest of my change here. I'm leaving my lay and my hop 4s just out there. They're not in play. It's just there because I'm going to use it again on the next shooter. So we want to at least get a box hit or 2 here in order to be able to come to the profit side on this. And typically I try to keep the videos, you know, in the 30 to 35, 40-minute range. And sometimes on a long roll, that doesn't happen. But I quit saying we're going to do 3 or 5 or 10 shooters. We're going to go for the time limit. Dice are out. All right, there's a 5. It's a 325. That's going to pay us 35. And in this case, at this level, we should be pressing. This is a $10 table or a $15 table. I'm okay with just collecting here at this point because we do want to recover some of what we lost in the earlier shooter on the point and losing on that quick 0.7 out. Dice are out. All right, 639, 639. Okay, and I think if you go back and you think about how I established the base on just a short amount of rolls, That was the 7th roll, but we already have our base established, and we actually have it established above where we need to be. And what I mean by base, whatever the table minimum is, if it's a $10 table, then it's a $10 bets that you start out with. If it's a $15 table, so forth. If it's a green level, $25 chips. It takes a little more than the $1,000 bankroll to play this, but you get the idea. So the 9 is just going to pay us a quarter flat. All right, since we're at the quarter level and we're going to go one more hit before we regress, we're just going to rack that quarter. That quarter come down, gets paid, and we make the pay on the quarter the place bet, which will pay us even better money. All right, one more place box hit, and then we'll bump down to table minimums and work up from there. Dice are out. And there's a 415. That works. 415. It's going to pay $35. All right. So by paying $35, let me just put everything over here. I would tell the dealer to take me down to the table minimums. In this case, I'm at the 15 level here, and I'm okay with staying there. So I'm going to come out with $48. I'm going to tell the dealer to put me $48 inside, with the exception of the point. They would hand me the money back, and they would make these chips look like this. Now, you're probably saying, why would you regress at this particular moment? Well, for 2 reasons. One, it's a random shooter, and the random shooter is likely to hit the 7 out within the averages that are there. Right now, he's 1 roll above the averages, 2 rolls depending how you look at it. Either way, I have collected, and probably once he 7s out, you'll see that we're probably real close to being even, so we've recovered from that loss on that first shooter. And this isn't up and down strategy. This isn't a sprint strategy. It's a marathon strategy, and you have to really know when to press up, regress, and even at some point turn off your bets. Dice are out. The problem with turning off your bets is that if it turns into a long roll, then you've missed a lot of place box hits. That's why I like to regress down to table minimums and work back up. Okay, that's $21. And my rule here is half press. So in this case, there's the 21. What I'm going to do in this case is I'm just going to press the 5 and the 9. I didn't press the 8 because it just hit, and I will rack the other $11. From this point forward, it'll be a half press and collect, or half press and collect the other half, all the way. And once I get to the green level, I'll regress back down, and if I'm fortunate enough to get so that I can get all the numbers to pay 1 for 50, that's where I like to play this at, and I don't go any higher than that. Dice are out, because then you are leaving a lot of chips on the table. There's another 8. It's a 628. All right, so that's going to be another $21 winner. And in this case, to half press is going to be kind of hard to do it. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm just going to take the 8 up to the $24 level. I'll rack the 15. All right, dice are out. And there's another 8, 628. This shooter is hot on the 8s. And guys, I'm just chicken feeding these. I'm just picking them up, dropping them on the table, picking them up, and just chunking them down there. So that's going to be 30 for 2. It's pays 28. There's 30. I'll take 2 out of my rack. And now I'm going to full press the inside. I'll rack this. The green chip gets racked. And what I probably will be doing at this point from now on is racking anything that's not green. So the dealer would color these up. So the 5 and 9 are now at the quarter level. This is at the 20, 24. That should be at the 30 level. So that goes to the 30 level as well. So what I do now is still going to half press, but I am going to pay attention to what level I'm going to get to if this roll turns into a longer roll. All right. And the dice are out. And there's a 549. Perfect. Perfect. The roll's going really well. In this case, we're going to put a 9, and it's going to pay 35. And what we're going to do with this one, with this 35, we're going to rack the green. We're going to take this 10. We're going to buy the 10. It now turns into a quarter. So that's going to be a buy. We owe $1 on the VIG. And I have a buy laminar somewhere. I have a buy laminar. So this quarter is now a buy. Remember, this 4 over there was a come bet. And that's the $1 for the VIG. And we are off to the 13th roller of this random chicken feeder. Dice are out. And there's a 549. Perfect. Perfect. It's going to pay us 35 again. He's been hitting these 8 and 9s incredibly quite often. So we're going to press the 9. Going to press the 8, put the quarter over here. It is going to take $1 for me to cap the 8 at 36, and we're just going to continue on. Dice are out, and there she is. There's the 4, 3, 7 out. 4, 3, 7 out. So that was 14 rolls. Double the average, but it's okay. We are going to lose this. We're going to win 50 down here on the don't. Remember, that point was 6 and a 6 never came. So we're actually taking $81 off the table. But if we were to bring our rack over here with everything that we have here, you're going to see that we are going to be up about almost $100 after being out 50, 120, 145 after being out, almost $285. We're now up almost 75, about $80. So, going to repeat the whole thing on shooter number 3. And I don't know that this video is going to go much longer than that. Put 200 out for the lay on the 4. We're going to place a $40 hard 4 working. We saw in this video how that paid off. And $5 on the yo. At this particular moment, I'm close to being $100 up where I could make this bet a 75, but I'm not going to do it. We are going to move on to shooter 3. And in doing shooter 3, we're coming up on the timeline that we may be able to squeeze another shooter in depending on how long this takes. Dice are out. It's a 7 on the come out. It doesn't hurt us. Remember, guys, real quick, I'll review the math with you just so that you are aware. Come on, come out, 7. This roll tracker isn't finicky because of the programmer. It's finicky because how I enter my numbers. And my DIY video that I've been editing for a while is about ready to come out. You're really going to be interesting to see how I do all this. All my videos are shot live, unedited. However, I didn't take any video of building the table, so I have to use still shots. All right, so the come out 7 works this way. You're going to get paid 100 on the leg. You're going to lose 50, so that's going to leave us 50. We have $40 here, so that's going to leave us $10. We have $5 on the yo, $5 on the vig. It's a wash. No harm, no foul. All right, dice are out. And there's a yo 11. In this case, that works out. It's a good example. Back-to-back ways of showing when the come outs on the don't work. In this case, we have 5 on the yo, which is going to pay us 75. Okay, we're going to keep that nickel because it stays with us where we won. This 50 comes off the table. We go ahead and put the 50 back, and this quarter goes in our rack. Most of the time, I just press that on the come out 11 because I don't expect it to happen again, but it can. All right, we're still looking for a point on our next shooter, and the point's going to be a 9. There's a 549. 549. Lose the bet on the yo. Point's going to be a 9. And this time, this is where we have the most exposure of money at risk, but have the greatest potential of getting to our base the fastest at this strategy. And the best way we make money is when it's the 4, because that's the only time we lay odds. So I'm going to hop the 5s. What I have at play here is 60 and 60 is 120. That's 145. I have 50 and 25 is 75, and we have the 100 up there. So as you can see, we were balanced okay, even though if a 0.7 out or a couple rolls later before we squeeze out the 4, we would lose that 40 on the hard 4. So the point is a 9, and the dice are out. And there's aces. Aces is good and bad, and here's the reason why. We would lose this bet. We would lose the quarter on the come. But it's going to pay double the bubble there, so we're going to rack a quarter, put the quarter back up there. Now remember, that is our second come progression. We're only going to run 3. If we continue to do this without getting the come established, it is what it is. you would have made money if you made it that far to set your base. In this case, it would be $10, $20, $30, $40, $54 is what we're looking for the base to make. The $10 on the hot fives come down, so we have to put that back up. That's another $10 invested. So if you really think about it, we won $15 on that roll. All right, enter the aces, and dice are out. And there's a 5, 1, 6, perfect. That gets us to our base in how many rolls? We put the 6 in. That gets us to our base in 5 rolls, and we had a come out 7 and a come out 11, and we're able to get to our base. What I mean by that, this 6 is going to travel. We're going to lose the $10 on the hot fives. We're going to lose the $25 on the no field 6, but we're going to get paid $70. And how much do we need for our base? We need $54. But we really don't need 54 because the 6 is placed. So we tell the dealer to take our place bets down. We're going to hand the dealer 54, but in this case, it's really not going to be 54. You'll see what will happen. We'll just tell the dealer that we want to come up for table minimums on each one of these. Okay, so we take a look at what we have here. We have the 6 established with a come bet. We would have $10, $20, $30, $42 with the 6 out there against the 50. I'm okay with that. Now it's a contest to see if this roll becomes long enough for us to make. I'd be happy with a $50 to $100 win, but you never know. Now, we've placed the 4. Here's the strategy name. Let's squeeze the 4 out. The squeeze comes down. The hard 4 comes down. And we're just off to the races to see what happens. We cannot lose on this shooter. I mean, we can, but we cannot lose on the shooter. So, dice are out. And this is going to be the shooter's 7th roll, so I would be a bit surprised, dice are out, if it doesn't turn out to be a 7, which it doesn't. It's an acey-deucey. So this is going to be the 8th roll. Think about this, guys. We have only got paid on the 6 and the come out winner that we had there. All right, dice are out. And there's a hard 6, and I may have entered that 6 twice, but at this point it really doesn't matter. Hard 6 is going to pay us a $25 flat rate on the quarter because it's a come. We're going to tell the dealer to place the minimum, $2. Okay, now think about what we have here, guys. Now we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 54 exposed with 50. We are not going to lose on this shooter. There's just no way to lose on the shooter. Actually, we're a couple dollars ahead, probably somewhere around 30. Dice are out. And if I use my chip rail management program I use, I would know exactly where I stand with that as well. And if you want to see a good chip rail management video, I've said it in plenty of my other videos, and that is to go see to go see John at Pro Craps. Go to his channel and just type in chip rail management. Excellent video on how to manage your chip rail, your chips, so you know exactly where you are on each roller. So the 5 is going to pay 14. We're going to do a half press. We just hit the 5. We're ahead on the shooter. I typically say half press. I'm going to press the $2 because I'm going to press the 6 and the 8 up. We've only hit the 6 once, I think. I entered it twice. No, we hit the 6 twice. I think I entered it 3 times. We haven't hit the 8 yet. So with that, we are at, dice are out, I should say. And there's a 4, 2, 6. Dice hit the chip on the 10 and stack that back up there. So that we have 18 on the 6. It's going to pay us 21. This will be a inside press all the way. So I'm going to press, rack this 5, throw $1 to the dealer. 5's now at 15. The 6 and 8s are now at 24. And if this turns into a long roll, we will be sitting pretty in no time at all. At no time at all. But we're ahead on the shooter. We don't have to worry about it. Dice are out. And there it is. We're not going much farther on this shooter because we're done. We'll do one more shooter. Let me just take a look at the time. We're probably at 30 minutes. Yep, we're coming up on 29 and a half. So that's going to be the end. But we are going to do one more shooter since this worked out so well for us this time. All this would come down. As you can see in the chips, it looks like there's a lot of chips. We're going to get paid $50 on the flat. And if we rack this up, You can see that I have a full stack of green. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1050. 1050, we have 200 here, 1050, 1150, 1180. So this time, this is where I will show you what I do a little differently. It's going to be a $200 leg, the 40 on the hard 4. This time we're going to do 75 on the yo. And in this case, if we have a come out 7, we do lose 25. If we have a come out 11, it breaks even. All right, so this is going to be the last shooter in this video. We're coming out all random shooters again. Dice are out. And there's a 628. I would say that's great, but you know, a lot of dark side players hate playing against the 6 and the 8, but they're the second frequently high numbers that are rolled, so you got to be able to expect to do that. If you wanted to drop your bet down here, you could, but I don't. We're just going to play against it. This gives us 75, and 100 back there is 175 for us to play with, to put out here. And what I'm going to do again is I'm going to do, oops, sorry guys, those are bank chips. Let me put them back over. I don't know why I did that. Come out with our chips. I'm almost tempted to, since I have the 75 out there now, I don't know that I have to do this bet or not. So we have 60. That's going to make it 110. Yep, I'm going to skip the field bet. I'm going to skip the field bet, and I am going to place the 5 and the 9 only because I'm up. I'm keeping the come bet out there, and I'll put the minimum on, table minimums on the 10. So I have 60, 110, 120 against 75, 175 minus the 40. So we're still okay if we have a 0.7 out on this next roll, and we'll still be okay because we should make money unless we hit the 2, 3, 11, or 12, the horn numbers on this next roll. Remember, we're trying to get to our base, and then we take and squeeze the 4 out. Dice are out. And there's an acey-deucey. I talked that up now, didn't I? Because that's also going to make us lose that quarter. And at this point, you don't have to come back up with a come bet. I am. We'll just see what happens here. Dice are out. And there's a 415, perfect. Perfect, that 415 is going to pay us 35. Now think about what we've lost and what we won, and that's where that chip rail management comes into play. That's going to travel, this quarter would come down. I really think that we are okay to bring our table minimum down, but I'm going to do that old adage that always comes back to bite me in the butt. I'm going to say one more hit or one more roll regardless of what happens, and then we're going to squeeze that 200 and that 40 on the squeeze 4 out. Let's just hope that this doesn't come back to bite me in the butt. All right, dice are out. And there's aces. Okay, I've extended this out long enough. I'm really worried about, that's my profit that we've made so far. I've got one more roll than normal, but if you take a look at this, that was the 4th roll, and with what we've made, and because we're ahead, we have enough to come out with our minimum base. So we're going to tell the dealer to take us down. Okay, squeeze out our 4 off the lay. I didn't pay the VIG, so I would get it back. Take the hard 4 down. We're going to rack all this. Okay, we're not going to be using those anymore. And we're going to tell the dealer we need $10, $20, $32. $32 to the dealer. They would hand us the money back, and then they would make this this right. And they would make it look like this. Okay, and now it's half press all the way, unless we hit the point. The point, we have 75 out here. The longer we win on this case, I may drop that down a quarter, but I'm okay with where we stand. I'm pretty sure that once we rack color up, you're going to see that we are going to be up by over 100, maybe close to $200. And as you know, I go to the casinos, if you watch my other videos, to make 20 to 30% on a roll. Typically, I only buy in for 600, so it's a little easier to get there. In this case, we bought in for 1,000, so 10% is 100. I really would like to be 200 hit. Dice are out. And there's a hard 8. So that's going to affect our bottom line because we're going to lose that 75. And in this case, we are going to come up with 50, which would almost take all of our profit away. And we're not going to do any hedging at this particular moment like we should, because our hedging would require us to take one of the 4 or 10 down. I'm going to take the chance that we're going to be all right. And this, if I don't make money, this is the mistake that didn't make me money right here by not placing, laying the 4 or the 10 and taking the hard way hedge. All right, dice are out. And what'd I tell you? Okay, so there is a 617 out. I could have hedged against it. I didn't. There's my profit gone, but I'm okay at the moment. I'm going to lose this. As you know, I don't let shooters burn me but 2 times, so that's the 2nd time the shooter has burnt me. We're off on everything up there except for the contract 5 come bet. Dice are out. And there's a 7. Oh, you know what? We would have lost that on the previous one. Sorry about that, guys. We would have lost that anyway. So there's another come out 7. Had I put another bet up there, I would have lost. So that would have required me to hedge it. Had I hedged it, I told you guys that this could be the reason why I don't make any money during these 4 shooters. Dice are out. And there's a 9. Shift that over. I should have turned that off. The point's going to be a 9. All right. Enter the point of 9. We're going to throw the dealer $2. Actually, we're going to have to throw the dealer $12 because we need to get up on the 5 at the table minimum. Now, we're backwards on this shooter. We are. But at this particular moment, I'm not too worried about it. Dice are out. And there's a 5-4-9. Remember, we would have been, if we had a bet up on the don't, that would have been the 5th time this shooter would have burned us. We only let him burn us twice. That's why I say that. I entered the 9 twice, guys. Sorry about that. I'll correct that on the next roll. Dice are... I was right. I didn't put the first 9 in there. Dice are out. And there's a come out 7. We're off. All these bets are off on the come out. We don't have any line out there. So this shooter went from decent to poor, hell in a handbasket relatively fast. What happened there? Oh, I see what I did. All right, roll tracker's going to catch up and be with us. All right, we're coming out again. Those bets are off. There's aces. Would have been aces. It's ace deuce. It would have been nice for us to be up there. We would have made one of them back, but remember, we got burnt before, so really it's tit for tat. We're not really worried about that. Dice are out. And we're back on the hard 8. So this bet will shift over to the 9. The dealer will hand us back the $2. The point will become an 8. The shooter certainly has hit a lot of hard numbers. And typically when it's the even numbers, the 6, 8, and 10, I do have a hard way bet. Regardless of whether I have a layup there, I have a hard way bet. But in this case, for the sake of the video, we're not going to do that. So that was a hard 8. All right, dice are out. And there's a 7. So this session's over with. And because I didn't hedge on this last shooter after he burned us twice when I put that back out there, that's going to lose our profit margin. And you will see that that was my mistake. I even called it before it happened. So let's take a look at where we stand. Let's put the 7 in the roll tracker. So we went through 4 shooters, 41 rolls. We have a 7 roll ratio of 4.6, which is good for the don't side, bad for the hybrid side. But look at the SOR at 10.3. We should have made some money on this roll. We should have made some money on this roll. So let's see where we land up at. It's not going to be a lot, but we shouldn't be down. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are going to be down. We're going to be down out of those shooters. Think about what happened here, guys. Don't be disappointed to see that we're down. But there is, oh, there's 1,000. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we are up. Shoo! I thought we were at 900. So we've got 5 in black, 5 in green. So we are going to be up $50, $75, $78. Now, think about the hits that we took, losing on the point 3 times, losing on the 7 once, and then there was one more hit that we took. I don't remember without going back and looking at the roll tracker, trying to explain it. But we were down well over $280 in the beginning through 4 shooters to be able to come back up after 4 shooters with a $78 winner. Guys, if you haven't as of yet, if you would, please click that like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate that if you could. That would really be appreciated. Give me a thumbs up if you can, and if you would, spread the word about the channel. The channel is growing leaps and bounds. Click that subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. We are doing some live stuff throughout the weekdays with a couple other craps YouTubers that we're doing. So with that said, guys, 40 minutes into the video, we're 10 minutes over. This is Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps. Till next time, be safe and play smart.